Hi, it's me, Deb, and I am coming to you very low energy, very tired, a little fatigued. This past week has been busy. We had the 4th of July on a Tuesday, which throws everybody off for like just the remainder of the month, having a holiday in the middle of the week. And it's already summertime, and you're already kind of in that weird summer lazy days thing. I don't know anybody else, so I'm coming at you with yesterday's hair and mascara because gross me was too tired to wash it off last night. So even though I don't really drink, and I didn't this past week, I feel like I'm hungover. You know what I mean? So today we're going to have a chill video. I'm wondering if I'm going to get it out today because it is Friday, but we're going to talk about, oh God, these heavy bastards, some art books that I love that I'd like to share with you, and maybe you'll find some inspiration from them too. So let's get into it. Welcome to my messy desk. The first book I'm going to recommend is this lovely The Universe of Peter Max book. It's actually in his words. Peter Max, if you're not familiar, you will know his work if you see it. It's definitely hippy dippy trippy, very up my alley. There's just, it's the colors, it's kind of that cosmic look and feel of things that I just have always been drawn to. And it's the kind of thing that I'm like, ooh, this makes my eyes happy. But going through this, now I haven't read it from cover to cover, but have I looked at a lot of the pages? Yes, because I like a picture book. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. This has like a real finger painty sort of feel, and there's a lot of that in here, and for some reason finger paint-ish looking stuff makes me nauseous. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, ugh, I don't like it. Maybe because I can smell the finger, like it takes me back to nursery school, which I liked finger painting, like sort of, but I never liked the way it looked, even as a small child. I was an art snob, I guess, but like when I see that, I'm just like, I can smell, it takes me back to the smell of finger paint and feeling it, and the feeling of like the paper kind of crinkling and tearing underneath, but don't mind me. There's a huge array of styles in this, which kind of sometimes makes me feel better about the work that I do, because I feel like I'm always all over the place. See, finger painty-ish. Yuck, I don't like it. But I love his more graphic style pieces, which is probably what he's most well known for. And I don't know, I always feel like my work is all over the place, and sometimes I feel bad about that. Like, I feel like, aren't I supposed to just have a style figured out by now? So you can see that, like, his early work when he was painting these realistic oil paintings. I'm gonna sound like Fleabag right now, but who is this hot priest? It's very handsome. I mean, this is just, you know, it's like, wow. I mean, when I see realism work, I'm just always like mind blown by it. And it's also like in this, this is not like overworked. This is one of those things where you look at it and you're like, that's a few brush strokes. Like, look at the hand. It's not that many brush strokes in there. And it's just the way, you know, you capture the light and everything makes it so real. I know, I'm gonna try and flip through a little bit faster, or else this video will be
5 years long. He did talk about being in a print shop and seeing kind of like something that inspired him, which was the runoff prints, like test prints, when people were like getting rid of ink from the plates, and that there'd be like a person superimposed on a bunch of flowers. Not superimposed, but it's like it just, their image was on there. And so that inspired him to create some of these pieces, these kind of kaleidoscope-ish pieces that are pretty cool. And you can see it's a lot of images overlaying. That's Jimi Hendrix. This one's pretty wild. I like this like texture in here. Like these, it's kind of like bubbles. It sort of reminds me of like when film is burning, like on a projector. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So this, and it gets into some of his like spiritual stuff and how he's influenced by space travel. Like this, I want to just like make a coloring page of it. Like this is the kind of stuff I probably love most of his, is this sort of like, it's almost like a stream of consciousness drawing where it just kind of, it's faces, but inside the faces are other faces and clouds and flowers, and I'm into it. So there's some sketchy stuff in here and concepts. Self-portrait, so that's what's on the cover there. I think, and like I said, I didn't go through and read these things because I just didn't. I haven't read it all, but I know some of this is screen printing, like silk screen. So I've always been kind of curious, like, how did he get this like really smooth color transition? Because I wondered, you would see that now digitally, but this wasn't done digitally. So, you know, you're just kind of wondering like, how do you make this like so solid, or that transition so smooth? So I don't know if some of it was spray paint or just silk screen, but I believe a lot of it was silk screen. It's kind of a cool photo. Imagine like having a photo with like a whole bunch of your biggest works. That's a gallery show. But yeah, so like I love the way like his flowers are like really simple. I try to do that when I can, because I'm like, here's more finger painty stuff. I can't look at it. Why am I so weird? It just, I don't know, there's something visceral about it. So there it was, it this one or was it a different one? I will link to when I did my finishing a sketchbook in 10 days was one of these. Here it is. This one inspired that. So I will pop a picture on the screen for you. Obviously it wasn't exact or anything, but it was just inspired by that. So the Woodstock 99 stage, he did work for that. I mean, it looks like super cool. Except Woodstock 99 was a hot mess. I really wanted to go to Woodstock. Was it 94? 94 was the first like Woodstock reboot. The one that worked. That's the one that I wanted to go to. But I was graduating high school, and there's no way my parents would have let me go, even though I was 18 and could have gone. They probably would have been like, you go, we're changing the locks when you come back. But that was a kinder, gentler, it was much more like the original Woodstock 99. If you happen to watch the documentary about it, was it on Netflix? It was a disgusting hot mess. But looking back at it as an adult, I'm thinking I would have been miserable even in the 1994, because I've never been to a music festival, like a proper music festival. But I like indoor plumbing. I like indoor plumbing. I like a clean place to sleep. I know that the 94 one was muddy and everything, and I believe that one was, they're all muddy and gross, but I just wanted to go for the experience. But like, so cool. So cool. I love it. Look at me breeze by the finger painty stuff. I'm like, ew, gross, ew. There's something about like the ones where he has like a guy running that always gives me Shel Silverstein vibes. I did watch something about Peter Max once, and it was talking about sort of towards the end of his life when he was dealing with dementia and all that a lot of people were taking advantage of him and either stealing his work or making work that looked like his and either having him sign. I forget exactly what it was, so this is all misinformation coming from me. It's not exact. But just the idea that people were taking advantage of him and like putting his name on stuff so that it'd be worth more and then selling it. Really, really gross, terrible, gross human behavior that just, I did want to flip back to, this was a Peter Max artwork on a Norwegian line cruise. So like the birds here and in some of his work are what definitely inspire a lot of like this kind of stuff. So I love the way his birds look. So totally taking from that there, you can see. But I just love like the shape and everything. Not that I'm trying to steal from him, but it's that whole steal like an artist thing where it's like I'm taking bits of things that I love of his and making it my own. But this is 100% Peter Max inspired. I still haven't done, what I wanted to do was kind of like an ombre fit, but I'm going to have to do that digitally. But yeah, because his work has always really inspired me. So, next, so we've got Mary Blair, The Art and Flair of Mary Blair. And this is by John Canemaker. I hate book jackets. Anybody else? Hate them. Actually today though, or last night, I was working on something that was sort of inspired by that. It's a hot mess, but very hot mess in my opinion. But what I did was I just blobbed down extra paint that I had like on a palette. It was obviously doesn't look anything like this, but just and then going over with colored pencil and stuff. But that was inspired by this a little bit. So we're gonna take that terrible book jacket off. But if you don't know anything about Mary Blair, and I love her work, you will have recognized it if you've ever watched a Disney movie. Old Disney, I should say. She did a lot of the storyboard artwork and all the artwork in It's a Small World. And you can look at some of her, works that she started out with. Her husband was an artist as well. And the truth is, I think these two pieces are just so cool to me. Very, very moody. I'm trying to get this right. Really gorgeous. But it's very like that Cupid-eyed kind of stuff. Cupid-eyed looking children. How cute are these? These little baby ballerinas. Really adorable. And when they went, so they traveled to, Brazil, Argentina. So they went to South America, which is where a lot of this comes in. And it was the whole Disney gang going down there. And it really influenced and inspired a lot of the work that she did here. But it's that whole mid-century modern look to it. That appeals to me. And I know I talked about a teensy bit about her work in one of my studio vlogs that I will, maybe I'll stick it at the end of the video here, that I can talk about that a little bit, because I looked at a little bit of her art to get some inspiration. But just the whole, the drama of this. There's a lot of drama in these, that are just just the light play and the movement. Really, really stunning. When someone can do something with very simple shapes, it's just so amazing to me. Just looking at, there's not a whole lot going on in these. It's not like there's a ton. It's not complicated at all. It's very simple, but man, does it get a point across, which is just mind-blowing. So these are from Cinderella. So she wasn't doing the animations, she's doing the storyboard artwork, but it's what the animators were referring to. These crazy long shadows and the wonkiness. I love it. I love it. So that's the cover of the book. I mean, if you've got rainbow colors, I'm into it, always. Yeah, the lighting is just so cool. When you're seeing the moonlight and just, there's not much I can say about it. It's just really, really beautiful work. So cool. Skull Rock. And then this is some of her freelance work. That's her in her home studio. Those are some big windows. The dream of any artist, right? So this is a lot of like the graphic design, advertising she did. Got your cigarettes, paint, things like chocolate milk and stuff like that. So Small World and Beyond, that's her boys. So I guess Walt Disney brought her back on to do this. I forget, I read this a while ago, but there is a photo here of her, yeah, working on it. But yeah, there she is with the set. And there's her boys again. This is one of her last works. Really, really dark to think about. Think about it. I wonder what my last work will be. Because one of these days, there will be a last one. Is it too dark and scary to think about? So you're like, I want to make sure I make good stuff. All right, next we got Hilma Af Klimt. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's what we're going with. We're gonna scoocha. So this is, so it's called Paintings for the Future by Tracy Bashkoff. And I didn't know much about Hilma Af Klimt, but I bought this book because just based on some work that I've looked at, it's pretty intense stuff. And she lived 1862 to 1944. 1944 is when my mom was born. So, and you look at these and you think, this looks like modern art. So it's really kind of mind-blowing when you think this seems like something that would be made maybe in the 60s, 70s. And nope. So I'm gonna go through some of it here. There's like pictures of her sketchbook. There's, it's an oil painting. I mean, beautiful work. But when you get into her more famous works, they're just so modern and sometimes very minimal. And a lot of it was based on spirituality. And some Swedish folk art. But when you look at these, it doesn't look like something that's from 1907. This looks like modern art. So there's the cover page. So a lot of these are tempera on paper. Birds. I love to to put birds and things, so, you know, anything with birds in it always excites me. So this is supposed to be, these are Tree of Knowledge. So there's 1, 2, 3, Tree of Knowledge 4, Tree of Knowledge 5. But it's really cool. It almost looks like you're taking, like, here's a close-up of what's going on in here, and it's really cool. Her work is very, very cool. Love this. So this is the swan number 1. This is the swan number 7. Swan number 9, swan number 10. So just keep getting more and more abstract. Swan number 11. It just keeps going. And these are still the swan. Still the swan. And this is the dove. I mean, there's something just very modern looking about all of her work. And then, like here, like so tiny. But what looks like it's going to be very tiny here on paper, and you're probably thinking, how is this so small? Her works are actually huge. So, the altarpiece. Let's see if I can get to here to give you an idea of the scale. Big. Very, very big. That's Hilma Af Klimt.
Well, what'd you think? Do you like these books? Would you like some more book recommendations? I'd love to know if you have any book recommendations yourself, because I'm always on the lookout. I like thumbing through picture books, just like everybody else who doesn't feel like reading. Likes to look at pictures. All right. I will see you next week if you're subscribed. If you're not, I'll probably never see you again. So it was very nice of you to stop by. And have a great week.